Moving on to 4.0 is the superintendent report. Superintendent Kingsley will now make remarks to the Board of Education and to the community.
Good evening, everybody. I was very moved by that moment. So just if you give me a quick second here, that Arthur's charge to speak to the moment is something hopefully I can carry a torch on right now. So as we, kick back off our school year following a well-deserved and restful spring break, I'm hopeful everyone across our community had an opportunity to connect with friends, with loved ones, and recharge. And I'm also, now that we are back in person and learning both not only how to close this year on a successful, positive note, but as we begin to plan for our future together, I really want to call for all of us to continue to come together. Not as a new behavior, a continuation of us convening and collaborating and engaging, but also trying to figure out ways while we grapple with hard things to find ways to experience joy, to experience connection, to capture those moments as Arthur shared, to ensure that we finish our spring semester strong. Since I last saw all of you, I had an opportunity to be in many, many places across the community and had a lot of fun. Since I've been the superintendent, have had also the pleasure and luxury of being joined by many members of the board on school visits and school activities. And I want to thank Director Duffy for joining me on a plethora of school visits and a school musical at Rocky Mountain High School a week ago to see Footloose, which was incredible. It was a coming-of-age story that just reminisced. It was just incredible, but it was incredible. Some of the schools that I'd like to highlight, I had a chance to celebrate with Mr. Duffy at Preston Middle School, our Knowledge Bowl winners at Preston Middle School. They also are state science Olympiad winners. There's a lot of really cool things happening over at Preston Middle School. So having a chance to meet with many of those students and the teachers who support those activities, not just in the evenings, but over weekends to make that magic happen. Just incredibly grateful for those types of experiences that are happening across our district, and to see that we have state champions who are going on to national competitions, I think is nothing short of tremendous. In my 25-year career, and I don't take this lightly, I had one of my most enjoyable school visits at Linton Elementary School, where I saw a second grade presentation of learning in their cafeteria where Mr. Duffy had to be it felt like 100 7-year-olds. We're all presenting what they just learned in our new curriculum around the role of pollinators and the experience of bees and wasps and all sorts of different insects on the pollination process. And to hear a 7-year-old speak with such depth of knowledge and be prepared on the spot to answer questions. And as I had an opportunity, knowing Director Duffy is bilingual, to see him immerse in speaking to many of those 7-year-olds in their home language and seeing the joy and the light in their eyes come open when they had an opportunity to present both in English and Spanish was nothing short of magical. So thank you for providing that experience both to me and to the school experience. I'm just really proud of the teachers at Linton who have really doubled down on the professional development as a team and are continuing to learn from their instructional coach and each other around how to figure out how to make those presentations with their students more vibrant. The implementation there is a district model, in my opinion, and we should all be curious and try to find out what's happening at Linton. There's a lot of great leadership and a lot of great teacher practices and student buy-in. Also had an opportunity, I'm not going to be able to mention all. I was at Trout Elementary School yesterday, another proud school in our portfolio of schools, and they're a core knowledge school, as we all know. And I think their balance around how they appreciate and respect the artistry of their teachers while having a very well-defined series of content and specific and explicit set of content knowledge that they're building with their students really is an incredible healthy balance that provides a level of synergy and positive energy with the staff, but also with the school community. So it was super exciting to see that as well. And I meant to say this in my opening, and I apologize that I didn't say it out of the gate, but for those who are observing Ramadan, I'd like to say to all of you, Ramadan Mubarak. And I'm hopeful that for all of those who observe, that you recognize that we as a system see you. And I want to thank all of our staff and support members who are providing a level of sensitivity and accommodations to supporting our community who are observing Ramadan. I want to say thank you for doing that. It is definitely the right thing, and it's an inclusive practice that we are very, very proud of. You know, as I'm talking out loud to all of you, I have a nervous energy because I'm still thinking about Arthur. I won't lie. It's, the two particular topics that we are going to listen to tonight are complex and incredibly challenging. And what I think makes this system great, and I continue to learn about this system and be impressed by a lot more things than I thought of when I first got here and was excited to move here and be a part of this district, is that we continue to be curious and we continue to be courageous. And when you think about the topics of graduating with options and thinking about graduation requirements in the midst of also tackling long-range planning efforts that talk about changing attendance areas potentially and school consolidations, to try to tackle those things on while also addressing literacy practices, trauma-informed the multitude of things that we are tackling that are adaptive in nature, that don't deserve or require technical solutions, but adaptive solutions, is incredibly impressive. Last year, and we sustained it this year, we had the highest graduation rates in 16 years in this district, but we're still willing to show up and be courageous around how we can make it better. And not just for the 13% of our students, who estimated about 200 students each year that do not get a chance to have the luxury of shaking their principal's hand and receiving a diploma. This is not just about them. This is about also looking at deeply the 87% of our students who are experiencing high levels of success and trying to figure out how to make that even more meaningful, more purposeful, more aligned to their personal interests, and allowing them to have the agency around their decision making to ensure that they can pursue, whether it's higher post-secondary education opportunities going directly into the workforce, that they have choice, that when they do have the chance to shake their principal's hand, they can say, hey, these are the 2 to 3 things that I'm considering post-graduation. I'm really proud that today we have 7 graduates that are graduating with their associate's degree. Part of this process is not just to accelerate that, because it's not appropriate. We're not trying to become the next community college in town. But I would also say that we're leaving a lot of money on the table. Higher ed experiences are getting more expensive. And as we try to figure out how to make our experience that has tremendous integrity today even more meaningful, I think it's incredibly courageous. I also think, and to take it one step further, when we talk about those 200 plus students each year on average that are not getting a chance to walk across the stage, we're being courageous to find out the story why. If you think about each of those students and think about our own personal lives, we have invested roughly about $10,000 per student per year for 13 years. Now, if any of us in this community invested $10,000 of our own money into some form of an investment, I would say it's quite unlikely that any of us walk away after 13 years when we're so close to the finish line of seeing a return on that investment. So I'm really proud of this school district. I'm proud of us of grappling with this particular complex problem. And I want to thank for everybody that's involved. Tonight is an opportunity to not just talk about policy, but it's an opportunity to show that we're listening. This is an iterative process. Where we started is not what you're going to hear about tonight, because feedback matters. It's informed this process, and your feedback tonight will inform it even further to be what's most appropriate to take a step forward, hopefully, in the spirit of our students to not just graduate, but to graduate with options. And I want to close by saying, those of you who are representing our facility steering committee, whether you are a spokesperson or a representative from CSU and the Institute for the Built Environment, on behalf of this entire governance team, thank you for stepping up to the plate and tackling a very complex, hard challenge. You, more than anybody right now, understand the complexity of the challenges that are in front of you as a committee. You, more than anybody, realize that there's no magic bullet or a technical solution that is going to help us navigate how to make this system more healthy, not just from a financial standpoint, but to ensure we don't compromise on our PSD achievement and our PSD promise to have a plethora of offerings that are holistic in nature and comprehensive in nature to build the whole child and not just parts of what students might be interested in. members of the community, tonight you are going to hear for the first time particular scenarios that are being announced to the public. This is an iterative process as well. I believe where we start, and I'm not speaking on behalf of the committee, they'll do a great job speaking on behalf of themselves, but I'm sure where we start is not where we finish as a result of engaging with one another. But it takes extraordinary leadership to offer your own time to tackle challenges that are bigger than your own school or bigger than your own department, bigger than your own local neighborhood, and that benefit this entire system to be better and healthier. And on behalf of all of us, I just want to say thank you. So members of the board, thank you for allowing me to address the community this evening.